Good day to all. Good day to all. Good day to all. This is Nurturing of Our Humanity. This is my Wednesday live. And let's get straight into it. Okay. Um, word soup. I wouldn't say the thumbnail exactly applies, but I just like it. Okay. A lot of people benefit from you playing small most of your life. That chapter is done. Step into who you are. Take up space. Okay. So, um, okay, let's get into this word soup. It's interesting how many topics and ideas I write down in the course of of a week, and then I get to time to about to drop a live, and I just kind of use my own custom one usually, or oftentimes I do. I think that's a good thing. All right, um, so I'm gonna go down my bullet points and set this up, and we're gonna run through it, and hopefully, I give you something to really think about, and you know, hopefully, something to comment about. All right. Remember, you can like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'll keep dropping these things, and I'm looking forward to interacting with folk, and very possibly coming up with my own topics from your inputs. So just know I'm still open to that. All right. Okay. So let's give conversation its roses and put it in its proper place. Okay. Uh, conversation is very important. It's an excellent way to express yourself. Now, this is, of course, with transparency and knowledge of self. Then you can step off into beautiful conversation. You got to be articulate also, but um, conversation um, can be powerful, but the power of words, my belief is, it starts and ends with the actual impact or the actions that it can create with who you're communicating with. So, conversation can be a lot of hot air and wasted time, or it could be a chance to actually dive into the details and retweak something and actually maximize the output of someone or something. Combine ideas, allow somebody with humility into your thoughts, and with them coming into your thoughts, um, if you're open to it, you can actually make adjustments and tweaks and change yourself or change your output, your efficiency, multiple layers of things. All right. And I think a clear thing to describe or define or separate in talking or communicating is, are you explaining something that you believe to be fact, or are you just expressing a feeling, an opinion, or an emotion? So explanation or expression. um, Now let's slide through this a little bit. Slang. I was having a very interesting conversation about some words that haven't used in a while, and I was talking with someone who's like a decade ahead of me, and what was the word that they used? I don't know, but like just stuff like jive, and I was saying in my time it was the bomb, and you molded, stuff like that. But when two people, it could be more than two, but at least when two people have an understanding of this word now means this, you're like kind of redefining language, and you actually customize your language or communication with one person or another. It's like how, not exactly the same, but how parents, there's an age when children are trying to talk but they can't be understood, but you understand them and nobody else understands them, so you become their translator. You and the child have a layer of language that everybody else isn't in depth to. Okay. Um, Redefining words for clarity or greater impact. Um, I'm going to give you um, a definition of a word um, by myself. Okay. Um, I'm going to use um, I'm going to use, of course, the actual definition first. Okay. All right. So, growth. Okay. The process of increasing in physical size. That's one. Another one is something that has grown or is growing. I don't think that and you can I don't think you can define a word by using the word, or you're not really helping somebody with that. So I'm just going to say it's the process of increasing in physical size. I definitely accept that as growth. I'm going to be a little more elusive with it, but I'm going to give you my definition of growth and how it makes me be very careful when I use it, because I've put very clear parameters on it. Okay. So, my definition of growth is making a conscious decision to let go of anyone or anything you previously couldn't see yourself without for future greatness. Very loaded. It's definitely not talking about um, a physical in a physical sense. We're talking about a mental sense of growth here, but growth, making a conscious decision to let go of anyone or anything you previously could not see yourself without for your future greatness. Okay. That's for me. Now, in that, there is, I think I had another one that I was defining, but um, you're, I look at it like, um, you're trying to avoid a bias loop. Um, when you're um, when I say a bias loop, what I mean is there's default things that we'll go back to constantly. Um, it's like they're locked and loaded. It's to prevent us from actually being transparent and people to dig into deeper layers with us. Um, but a lot of excuses are really protecting bias loops and stuff like that. I'm going to go into that in a later one, but I just wanted to point that out in there. Okay. But no matter what we're talking about with word soup, no matter what we're talking about with words, I want to give an overriding law. Okay. And words are never above action. They can be the catalyst for action. And I think that's the most amazing thing words can do, is inspire action or change. But words never conquer action. Okay. And a lot of people spend a lot of time being very elusive and um, a lot of bad things with a lot of word usage and talking too much, not knowing when to shut up, things like that. And that's kind of why I'm over here, because tend to be around people who just don't appreciate the intellectual challenges and conversations and sparring matches that I want to have. So I come over here and talk uh, to you guys. I'm here to talk to you guys, okay? Because I feel like somebody here is going to listen, okay? And I'm going to finish this with unlearning. Um, you know, Before you can really absorb new information, you have to vet out the old information that you were built on, the foundation that you are was set up on, you know? So, with that said, um, unlearning is one of the most important processes of growth, or having proper conversation with people, because if you come in with everything you know being law and locked and loaded, there's no room for a conversation to occur. You can just argue and complain and talk about behind the back of, but there's not going to be any actual conversing, exchanging of goods and information, where you can go and think about it and then come back and then maybe say, well, I was thought about that and this is what I come up with, or I disagreed with this or that. But that's what conversation is, and it's a beautiful thing. And it's something that should be highly needed in the friendships and relationships that you have, is conversation. It's like the highest vibration, or the highest expectation I have in any relationship I'm having, is good conversation. And when I say good, it doesn't mean that I'm going to play judge and jury. When I say good conversation, I mean something that I'm growing from, something that's challenging me, um, something that feels tied into the subject matter, knowing that we're actually conversing, we're sharing ideas. I'm not talking about this and they're responding to that. We're actually walking the path together. We're throwing the bricks down and walking down it as we go. Okay. So, word soup, lost in translation. All right. Till next week, this was just a Wednesday thought from G over here, Nurturing of Our Humanity. You guys have a beautiful week. Okay. I'll see you next Wednesday.